What we tend to do, we have what we class as two types of amplifier. We have the hand wired, we have the normal amplifiers. What I mean by a normal amplifier, the boards are put together, go through a auto insertion machine, the rest are done by ladies, and then they're soldered up, and then they're ready to go into an amplifier. What you got here, two class 5s, the little 5-watt valve amplifier. See the join down the middle, I like doing this. There you go. And a complete amplifier. Main circuit board for the valves, with the knobs, and then the back. So that will go from here, that's all been loaded here. Boards made for us. They come in empty, the smaller components are fitted by auto insertion machine. Larger ones are done by the ladies. This goes up through the flow solder machine. And it's all soldered up, and then comes over to here. What they do is they'll get the chassis, which comes down from engineering. As far as the company's concerned, we manufacture. So we buy in steel, we buy in wood, and we put the whole thing together. We don't assemble anything. Apart from the boards which are made for us, which come from abroad, from our company abroad, as it were. Everything else is made here. So the chassis will come down. I'll put these back before I get done. Chassis come down from engineering. Then the people will take that bare chassis and put the front and back panels on, transformers in, circuit boards, wire the whole thing up. At the end, because they're made in this half of the electronics, the third test, these have already been tested twice at this point. The third test is they plug the unit into a computer which feeds in the guitar signal and it tells them what to do. In the case of a class 5, they'll turn the knobs, press the buttons at the back. If it passes, it tells it. If it fails, it tells them what it failed for. So no noise involved. Obviously they couldn't play guitar through it at this point because they'd have things thrown at them if they were making noise. Once it's passed, it goes off onto a trolley. You can see the trolley in the middle. That goes off into finishing. Just round there, although we can't get round there because of the line, is actually where the YJMs are being made at the present moment in time. Done in exactly the same way. Chassis that come down from engineering, they put everything on, works down the line, it gets to the end of the line, it's another computer testing it down in the same way. Flow solder machine. The number of circuit boards we make a week, you couldn't do it by hand. So what happens is the ladies will actually put all the components in that need to be put in. It's about 30 to 40% the women have to fit. It then comes up through this machine. What we've got in there is 2 gallons of liquid solder. At 267 degrees centigrade. Quite warm. People say, oh, my valve amp gets a bit warm. You know, is it going to break down? No. Underneath that metal cover there, you've got what's called a preheater, which warms the circuit board up. That's sitting at 422 degrees centigrade. So the board's warmed up. The reason we warm it up is so when it hits the solder, because the two boards are at roughly the board and the solder are roughly the same sort of temperature, you get a perfect solder joint. This is all adjusted. These days, obviously, it's all lead-free. Just had to be adjusted temperature-wise to make sure the lead-free solder works properly. If you look now, you can actually see done like that. I mean, what happens with surface mount, the components are all fitted on, it goes into an oven. What you've got here are 2 front boards, and I can't see what they're for, I haven't got my glasses on. Hold on. It's JVM2. So you can see you've got 2 preamp boards, 2 speaker outlets, and 2 inputs. They do it like this because obviously it fits within the jig. This is all soldered up, and if I actually carefully hold those, you can see the underneath is all nicely soldered. The lady will then give it a visual check to make sure everything's there that should be there. There's no obvious solder joints. Say all the smaller components. Let me take these off. Can I take these off? So all the smaller components will have been fitted by the auto insertion machines. They're checked as they go in. These have been fitted by the ladies. So to check these, once he's given it a visual check, he goes through another computer.
Right.
What you've got there is what's called a bed of nails. The board goes in, it shuts down on it, and then the program measures all the components.
Right.
What you're actually checking is to make sure the right pots are in the right positions. There's no obvious joints.
Yeah.
There again, if it does fail, it gives her a little bit of paper to tell the area to look in. R27 short. And then she knows where to look to sort it out.
I used to see all the HP stuff.
It varies, I suppose. We probably make about 2,500 a week.
Right.
I mean, some of them are very small.
Yeah.
Some are a bit bigger, but it's about that sort of number. You can see the varies. So that's what you just see. What you've got there is just a series of speaker boards and speaker outlets. So they'll vary on what they're making. What we manufacture, everything we manufacture to order. We don't just manufacture. Everything we see as we go through the factory. It's all bought and paid for. Yeah. The only difficult market, as far as we're concerned, is Britain. Because every other dealer around the world, every other country, we export to 89 countries. They have a distributor. So we sell to them, they sell on. This country, we deal with 320 shops direct. So they'll order 1 amp a day, or maybe 2 on a good day. Where in America, they have a 40-foot container once a week sort of thing.
You know, on the American amps, I mean, are you putting those other types of tubes in these days, or?
No, they have exactly what we have.
They do. They used to use.
Originally, I mean, when America started to take off in a big way, they wouldn't use the L34s. They were
correct.
They didn't think they were reliable. They used to have 6550s.
Correct.
So we used to manufacture them with 6550s in.
You did.
They'd take them out and send them with no valves.
Right, and they did it over.
Then our distributor would put the valves in, rebias them, and sell them on.
But now they go absolutely from here, so you can pull it out the box and work.
Yes. Anywhere in the world.
So that is a Marshall product through and through.
Yeah.
No distributor involved.
No.
Great.
All right.
Thanks for that.
What we've got, the 4 auto insertion machines. 2 sorts. This is they take actual components, legs come out either side of the component. Then you've got the 2 radial ones over the back. What they do is they'll take. We put in a program, all done by us. We do all their in-house programming. They'll put a circuit board in the front end. The machine will then cut off and take the resistors, capacitors in the right order onto a chain that runs up the centre of it and put them in the board.
Right.
Takes the component, bends the legs over, puts it through, bends them in the other direction so it can't fall out, cuts the legs off. Also checks it's the right component, hence the first check. And this one does it at 6 a second.
Yeah.
About 22,000 an hour. That one, and its partner over the back, that does it about 4 a second. It's slightly slower because it does on radial components. And with these units, I mean, these days we couldn't manage without them.
No.
Something like the YJM, there's just over 400 components in it. You know, you try and load that by hand, like we used to, but in the days when we did it all by hand, we were making 150, 200 units a week.
Right.
They had 1 circuit board in, that circuit board had 57 components. These days, I mean, a JBM has over 500 components in it. You couldn't do that by hand and keep the consistency going. Unfortunately, none of them are working today because it's Friday. They go home in an hour's time, 2 hours.
Really? Right, great.
So what you finish up with is something like this. It's a TSL 60. All the components have been fitted by the 2 machines, actuals and then radials.
I was going to say flip it over, that's it.
Yeah, nothing falls out because they're all bent over.
Right.
Mind you, they did once. They hadn't set the crimper up. I turned it over and everything hit the ground.
Oh.
So I turned the board back, put it in there and walked off.
I bet you did.
They swept it up. But you can see these will be start of next week's. DSL, TSLs.
Yeah.
These are ready for next week. They're doing YGM 60s at the minute. So I'll show you one of these.
Yeah.
Slightly less in there than you would see on the TSL 60. That have been fitted by the auto insertion machine. It's done in the same way.
Just flip that round.
That way or that way? There.
Front way.
Oh, all right, there you go.
I want guys to see what it is. Okay.
All right. The ST1 board. this was the first circuit board we ever used. Started 1974. Was about the first time we ever used it, and we've been using it ever since. That part, this part, the actual amplifier itself hasn't changed since then. They've moved position slightly, but basically the wiring's identical. Power supply's changed over the years, has to for modern day constraints. This particular board is actually a 1959, but it used to work 10 or 11 different amplifiers just by changing certain components. 57 components on there. I can't do the YGM because I don't know the time, but the JVM 410, our flagship amp, over 500 components in there. To load those circuit boards, ready to go into the amplifiers, is about 22 minutes. The auto insertion machine takes a few minutes to do, and the ladies take the rest of the time ready. This has 57 components. Hazel, the smaller components on this board are put in by the machine, everything else is put in by Hazel. She then has to solder it up and then solder all the wires on. It's over an hour to do 57 components to get it ready again. One amplifier, one board in one amplifier. It's about an hour, hour and a quarter, depending on what she has to do to it. So it's slightly more expensive to do those amplifiers, but it does mean it's a service. People want to buy the 2203, the 1959, the 1987, the JTM 45. The 1962, the Blues Breaker, is even more hand-built because the circuit board doesn't go near any machine. Hazel takes the board, puts all the components in by hand, then solders it up by hand. The reason that is that these come in on a biscuit, so it can't go through the flow sonar machine. But the 1962s come in like that.
Yeah, it's like
so she has to build it by hand.
It's like an original turret board.
Yes, she has to build it by hand. It's still classed as a circuit board because it still has track on the back, so we can't call it hand wide. Well, we don't call it hand wide. We just call it hand assembled.
Right.
We do hand wide units.
Yeah, I know.
I'll show you one of those later on.
Great.
How many computer programs for those? Because we only make a small number.
Yeah.
So all hand wide. Something like the YJM or the JVM will have gone through the 3 stages. The circuit board's checked as the components are put in, then checked after soldering, and then checked once it's a solid unit. The hand-wide units, they're all put together by the ladies and all men. They then all go to the test engineers and they're all hand tested. They have a procedure what to do, but actually physically tested that way. We do it for 2 reasons. One main reason is we don't produce hundreds and hundreds a week. There's only tens produced a week, so it's not worth liking all the programming. And because the boards are so small, as you saw the ST1 board, there's no point in having too much auto insertion because it just takes up too much time. Plus, we can then claim it's hand tested. We don't. It's not something we do. We're not the sort of company that starts quoting flags and everything. But the unit itself is done. Plus, they do any failures. So if an amplifier goes through the normal procedure and on the computer testing it fails, and it's not something obvious, like a wire's not pushed in properly or something, they will all come to them and they will do all the testing as well. It's what, as the name suggests, it's everything put together. You can see these amplifiers have come out, they're all tested. If you look at this one, you can see the ST1 board, the one I just showed you, is now wired up and actually fitted into the amplifier. So the board's done by Hazel, it will then go to hand wire, which I'll show you at the end, and actually one lady then wires the whole thing up, so it's not part wired by somebody. The components are fitted by a guy comes out from engineering empty, they'll put everything on there and it's wired up. If you look, that's the 50 watt. There's the 100 watt, it's exactly the same board. The difference we have got, if I could just squeeze through there. Spin this round. So there's a hand wide unit. That is a hand wide unit. Pack strip board comes in empty. Hazel will then put all the studs in and then put all the components on.
This is based on about a 69, 70.
This is based on the well actually that's 67, 66, 67. Because by 70
Okay.
We were still doing
Moving
these
across.
boards, but it wasn't that sort of style.
No.
But if you look at, I mean, that's the 2 throw 3, there you go. If you look at that
Yeah.
and that, they're identical.
Yeah.
This one has an effects loop, and obviously the hand wind one doesn't.
Yeah.
But the components on there are the same as the components on there. If you put these two together and played them, they sound the same.
Yeah.
It's not.
For some of these guys, you know,
They say it sounds different
I don't
because of the
know.
way it's played. But it's not the reason we're doing it. We're doing it because people want it.
right. Right.
We'll always make this sort of unit, providing there's a marketplace and there are people around the world who want to buy these.
Right.
I mean, the cost has more to do. Plus, it means at the end of the day, you, the end user, are going to have to pay more for it. But there's always been a demand since we started doing it in 2002.
That's a really nice finish, isn't it?
What is it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's been well.
Hazel's done a good job.
Oh yeah. It's very, very similar to the original. I mean, the difference these days is these components, although they look like the originals, are modern day components. All we did is we went to our component supplier and said, look, we'd like components. Those components were looking like that. And they said, you buy enough, you can have what you want. Gosh, I put it the other way up again.
Yeah.
That way. That way. So it looks like it should do, but they're modern day components with the reliability of a modern day component.
Yeah. Very nice.
If you look at the difference of something like this is JVM2.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
One big circuit board. There's the DSP board for the reverb, and then a board at the front. So there are no soldered wires in this at all. I mean, everything in there is hand soldered. There's no soldered wires near at all. They're all plugs.
Yeah.
Plug and socket. Quicker to manufacture, just as reliable, if not more reliable, because the solder joint's only as good as the person who's made it. Put together, I say, just as reliable, quicker to manufacture. Therefore, if you look at the, go into your friendly dealer and look at the price between something like that and something like that, they're both 50 watts. That's going to be more expensive. Because the biggest single expense in any manufacturer is, as you know yourself, is labour.
Yeah.
So we'll still, I say, these will always be manufactured here, but it's a different style of amplifier.
How have you gone on with tubes these days? Market
How many do you want?
It's fine.
Oh, we're all right.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean generally speaking.
Oh, generally, the quality's
Quality, yeah.
quality's a bit hit and miss, but we buy direct from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Through a third party.
Whatever.
And yeah, they're very good.
Okay.
We get, all our valves are selected for us now.
You had wing C's in that YJM.
Sorry?
Wing C. You know what I mean by that?
No.
Svetlana.
Sorry?
Svetlana.
Oh, Svetlana, yes. Yeah, this is what these are.
Oh, okay.
They're all Svetlana.
Tell me about the spot.
The spot,
I noticed a different
they're all
colored
matched
spots as
together.
well.
They're all it is that you hear about matched valves.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is true. You should always have your valves matched.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
a valve have a range.
Correct.
What the manufacturer does for us, and what we have, these are all matched together. So we buy them in boxes of 50.
Right.
And they may have a green spot, a yellow spot, an
Correct.
orange spot. That doesn't matter, as long as all the spots are
the
the
same colour.
They're all within, what it is, they have a tolerance, or we have a tolerance of how far they can be apart.
Right.
And what they do is that tolerance can vary,
Correct.
but as long as all the valves are the same, you can drop them straight into your amplifier.
Well, let me ask you then. For example, you've got black on there,
Yeah.
and some companies denote different distortion rates by the colour. You don't do that.
No, the colour
Okay,
is
so
purely for the end
just the
user
matching.
to make sure that you're changing your valves
Okay.
or having them changed by your engineer.
Okay.
You always make sure they put the same valve in.
So those ratings regarding distortion don't apply.
No,
You don't do that?
No, we don't do that. No.
Okay.
We have a set of parameters set up which the people who test these for them for us have to fall in.
Yeah.
If they fall outside that, we don't have them. We don't accept them.
Great.
So no, we don't go. You buy a. I know what you mean. You buy.
You do
a
know what I
green
mean,
one, It's
yeah.
less.
Yeah.
It's less distorted. No, we don't do
Okay.
that.
But I know on your preamp tubes, like here,
Yeah.
You have a higher quality one in position
Well,
one?
not a high quality. They've been tested in a different way. The one underneath there has been tested for low microphony.
Right.
And then it's down to gain.
Well, that's what I really meant.
Yeah.
This number one valve.
It's tested so you can get a low microphony.
Yeah.
Because the way a valve goes together, the way a valve is manufactured, they do vary, especially
the number one's the worst one, isn't it?
It's always going to be the worst one because it's the most sensitive signal you're working on. So that's tested. But even these are different.
Right.
These all have different numbers on.
Right.
They all have a Marshall number on.
Yeah.
So if you ever need to replace them,
Right.
they actually have our stock number on there.
Right. Okay.
So you can actually phone up, or somebody can phone up an engineer and say, look, I want a valve 55, because that's what's on the valve.
Right.
So we always recommend, it's only a recommendation, we recommend you put the valve back that's taken out there.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, it's your amplifier. You can put in there whatever you wish.
Right.
We can only recommend.
Okay.
With the YGM and with the AFD, because of the auto biting system, you can, in theory, put what you like into it. It will auto bias. I have actually done it as a test as part of my job.
Right.
I actually fitted 4 different types of valves, and it biased them all up correctly. It didn't sound very nice.
No, but it worked.
But it would have worked. I don't know how before, but it would have worked. And when I'm saying I put a 6550, an EL34, a 5881, and a KT88.
And it worked.
Well, it biased them up correctly. No, it biased them all, all different bias levels.
Wow.
All within the parameters of the amplifier. I would never recommend anybody does that, but it can be done. A 2-channel and a 4-channel, 1 with 12, 2 with 12 head, and then you can go over to the original with raw heads. If you want that sort of style of music. Yeah. I mean, in theory, you can get that sound out of that amplifier. But people buy that because that's what they want. It's more of a custom. It's more of a player's amp. What I mean by that is you've got to be able to play guitar. It doesn't have any frills. It'll give you exactly what you put into it.
It's not quite as hidden with the distortion, is it?
Yeah. If you can't play very well. The other thing as well is these sort of amplifiers are designed to return 7, 8, 9 and left not left. That is because no, not on that. I can show you one of those. Oh no, we have. With those having a master volume, you can have them set at almost bedroom level or practice level. But this is not designed like that. It's designed to give you your full power all the time. Just meat. Yeah. What you use with that is it down. You get to use a lot of that. Turn the guitar volume down. Run that flat out, or virtually flat out. It'll distort. You wind the guitar volume down, you get a wonderful, sweet, clean sound.
You want one of them TS pedals in front of it, don't you? Yeah, of course you do.
It's always amazed me that it talks to a lot of people. This is an all-valve amplifier. Apart if you're using obviously the digital reverb in it. But the signal part without the digital reverb is all valve. There's no silicon involved whatsoever. People go, well, we want an all-valve amplifier. And the first thing to do is they get home and put several patterns in front of it, which are all digital. Never quite understood that one, but people do it because we will always produce what people try and produce what people want. That's what people
I've got a TS808 hand wired anyway, so that's that one out the window. Try and make one of them. I did.
Yeah?
No.
You try and cover something like that.
I couldn't do it. I tried.
I've done it.
It's hard on that corner sort of thing.
Well, you know.
I know, but tell the others.
Tell the others. Covering department. Right. It's the only department in the factory where there's no computers involved other than the one they download the orders in the morning. Our biggest change we had to make now is 10 years ago. We had to stop using a petrochemical based glue for environmental reasons. So we went over to a water based glue in '96. The only downside with the water based glue is it doesn't stick to wood. Which in theory could be a bit of a problem. It isn't. We've got a big metal box over there behind the cabinets. It's got a carousel inside it. And the corner of it sits in the wood mill, so the guy in charge will hook the units onto the carousel. First thing they see is a 90 kilowatt heater, which warms the cabinet up to about 50 degrees centigrade. So when you spray the glue on, it becomes active. Same with the covering. They cut the covering to size, to width, and they cut it to length. It's sprayed in its own booth, just over there. Spray it on there. At that point, the glue's not sticky. It goes to its own preheater, which warms the glue up, and then it works like any normal impact adhesive. The guys can work it. You get about 3 hours on average to work it. The advantage is if it goes off, you warm it up. So the two things, well, the thing as far as we're concerned is you don't need any protection. The glue is safe, completely safe. The thing as far as the end user's concerned, you buy one of our cabinets. As far as the cabinet's concerned, the end user, if you get it taken out of the car one night and rip the covering, take it indoors, get the hairdryer out. Most households have got a hairdryer. Peel it back so you can see the wood and you'll see the back of the covering. Get a hairdryer on it, keep it on the move, don't keep it in one spot. And you feel the glue start to go sticky, and you stick it back down. The glue never goes off. As long as you warm it up, you've got to be careful obviously because this is plastic coated fabric, so you've got to keep it on the move. But it will work, and it does work, and I've done it myself. As far as the covering's concerned, I would say I've done this myself once or twice. To cover a 4x12 takes 12 minutes.
Right.
Well, it takes them 12 minutes.
Right.
It takes me about an hour.
What about something like the head there?
The head?
These regulars.
A regular style head will probably take between 8 and 10 minutes.
Right. You have the same guys doing that all the time? Or do they rotate?
The way it works in the factory is that if you want to, you can be trained to work finishing, covering, electronics.
Right.
So these guys you might see in here for a week, but then if you came again, they could be in finishing or even helping out in electronics. We do it that way because we can then eliminate any form of bottleneck. If we suddenly get an influx of a certain amplifier, we can't cope with the people that are doing it, we can bring in other people in from different departments.
Right. Okay.
The guys themselves, I mean, we have two types of covering, mainly just ordinary elephant grain you can see there on the van. We do some colours, although we are seriously thinking of doing more colours.
Yeah,
nice shade. They do a nice shady yellow, it's lovely. It's only an idea at the present moment in time. As you can see there, you've got a wall of little class 5 heads. When you think everything you see is bought and paid for in the sense it's all ordered. We've got a fair few to do at the minute.
Stay on it, boys.
That's easy, isn't it?
Follow me. Typical, you can see the carousel, but there's nothing on at the minute.
That's all right.
It is, as I say, it is Friday. What's the time?
20 to 12.
20 to 12. They've got an hour and 20 minutes to go, you see.
That's only 20 to 12 in England, of course.
Of course. You can see the carousel. I mean, what happens is the units come round. On this side, the cab's actually sprayed with emulsion, black or water-based emulsion paint on the inside, so you don't see the wood finish. It's also cleared of any sawdust, which allows it to then go around the other side where the glue is sprayed on when necessary. It's a wood mill. I mean, what else can you say? The unit, I mean, there are a fair bit of machinery in here because obviously, you know, they make boxes.
And again, this is all made to order stuff.
Oh yeah, this is you can just see over the back there, there's a big green machine. That's a microwave oven. What we've done, we've used it for 45 years.
ask you a question? You know when you're manufacturing amps through your production,
Yes.
do you have a build sheet for each amp?
Sorry?
Do you have a build sheet for each amplifier or not?
Yes. Yeah.
You do?
It's called a bill of materials.
Right.
From that bill of materials, we obviously produce what it's going to cost us, what's going to go into it, but also what happens in each department. So from that bill of materials, you'll get a build sheet for a finishing, for electronics. In the case of electronics, it's several build sheets. One for components, one for wiring.
That sheet that goes through, is it used for QA at all?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you tick off as you go through?
Yes, everything is checked.
So you could effectively have one of those sheets for every single amp.
In theory, yes.
Do you file it?
Well, it's done electronically. It's
Okay.
There's not a physical
sheet as such.
not a physical sheet. There's the original bill of materials, and from that bill of materials, we generate. I can show you in a second. A sheet, assembly sheet for finishing.
Yeah.
So they will know if they're building something they haven't built before.
Right.
They look at the sheet. It tells them
Yeah.
exactly what goes in, what's screwed
I was
up.
following the QA angle, actually. That's what I was after.
They have to build to that sheet.
Okay.
And if they don't build to that sheet, or there's something on that sheet that doesn't fit,
Yeah.
they are then given the task that they have to then tell the guy in the charge hand, and then it's followed down the line.
Right. So it's checked back.
So it's everything. What we call in most times we do it pre-production.
Right.
So we will produce a prototype. If the prototype's okay, we then produce 20 of a certain amplifier or speaker cabinet, and that is built to the build sheets.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, we'll find out why. That's where the QA comes in.
Right.
And then QA in that sense will check amplifiers on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
When this is produced in the wood mill, the holes are drilled pre-drilled. The same as these holes are all pre-drilled. And it's cut on a router and it's drilled. And all they do is then, as you can see, there's a right way. Just what he's basically doing is making a hole. If you hold it, you can see the holes. And he's making the holes with the drill to know where it is. And all they do is hammer it on. Sorry.
It's alright.
Nearly
got me.
They just hammer it on.
That'll teach me to try and sell you something.
That's right, yeah. Get you next time. You can see they've just come through.
Oh yeah.
That's put on.
Very nice.
Depending on the amplifier or speaker cabinet. Depends on what size goes in there.
Okay.
Rubber mallet, or actually plastic mallet. Basically a rubber mallet. It's finished.
So those are YJMs?
Yeah. What you have, it's finishing. This is actually finishing itself. So they'll take the wooden box, they'll take it, in the case of the class 5, put everything on there. It then goes down the line. It's got this conveyor, one over the back, depending on how big you need. Guys on that side, you can see up there, they put the amps together. Guys over here, they normally do whatever's necessary. They're doing amps today at combo. That guy there, he tends to do the specialised units. In this case, he's doing the YJM. He'll do the hand wide units. He's just done like that because of the people.
Like his t-shirt. The one that says Marshall t-shirt.
Oh yes.
You have to get your money out and buy one. Oh, do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got it.
We got to make some money somehow. No. As far as the amplifier, as far as every product's concerned, once it gets put on that conveyor, the last thing it sees is a guitar.
Right.
So every unit goes through I'll show you in a second.
Great.
They basically, they check for quality.
Great.
And you also check for working.
Yeah, cool.
Every unit, without exception, has a guitar plugged into it. People think, well, a great job. It's not. It's not too bad. If you're doing something like
a while.
It's a good job. If you're doing something like the Class 5, it's got 4 knobs on the front.
Yeah.
You do the JVM 410, it's got 29 knobs and 12 buttons. Every knob and every button has to be pressed. Without exception. If you want to follow me up.
Trouble is, you'd think you'd be tempted to get carried away on your guitar, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would have been.
Go on.
Hi.
I assume they have to get a lot of these done as well, do they?
Well, everything has to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, we may probably go through one room. Let's just pull the door to. Yes. It gets a bit friendly, but it's okay. I mean,
Smile.
Mark, who normally does this job, is actually on holiday at the minute.
Right.
But there's various people trained up to do it. I mean, the average is probably between 150 and 200 a day. I'll go through one of the rooms.
So you're serialising everything through. Yeah.
Sorry?
You're putting everything.
Yeah. What happens is
that go onto database then?
Yeah. The manufacturing side of the company is controlled by a computer.
Yeah.
It has to be these days.
Right.
Every unit, without exception, has a barcode on it.
Yeah.
It will come in. First thing we'll do is to check everything's there. Corners are all on. There's no dirt, no marks, no damage in any way, shape, or form.
Wow.
I'll just let him do this testing.
Yeah. This is where he picks it up and plays like Jimi Hendrix for a bit then.
That's it. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Valves light up.
Yeah, I won't hurt. We never recommend anybody does that themselves, but we have to test it.
I saw it in the
Yeah.
area. Of course you do, yeah.
There you go. It's not much of a test, but it's exactly what's necessary.
Right.
What he's just done, you don't need volume. What he's checking for is to make sure all the controls do exactly what they're meant to do.
Right.
So the bass will turn the bass up and down, the treble will do the treble.
Nice.
The reverb works, all the volume controls work, the sockets on the back work. Even the one thing that's checked as well, which people think why, is we actually switch the standby switch off to make sure it goes off.
Right.
Because there is a slight chance that it could be wired wrong, or there could be a pulse when you switch it off, it doesn't go off.
So we can be checking any amp that comes down.
Anything at all.
Could be anything.
What you need in here is diligence. You need to be able to, know what you're checking. You're checking the same thing, but it could be on. I mean, we make over 80 different models of unit, so you'll see everything in a day in theory.
Yeah. It's a lot of.
I say it's their favourite amplifier. You have 29 knobs on the front, 28 on the front and 1 on the back. First thing, once he's checked it, first thing you do is the safety check, which is the big box there called Claire.
Right.
Flash test.
Right.
Earth leakage. Basically what the Claire does is actually test it, not to its limit, because that would be detrimental to the amplifier. But the way the Claire tests it, if you in theory used it sort of 10 or 20 times on an amplifier, you would probably damage any mains transformer.
Right.
It's a lot harder than would be a standard pat test.
Right.
But then again, this amplifier's never been plugged in theory before. It has, obviously, for testing.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that when it leaves here, it's perfectly safe.
Do you let these chassis burn in?
Sorry?
You let the chassis burn in prior to this?
They're all been tested before here, yes.
Okay. You leave them on soak test?
No.
No.
The thing with the
expensive. Well, it's relative.
they're about £1,400.
It's relative.
You can tell lots of quality.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
That's you see the foot pedal that obviously on the
Yeah,
front.
there it is.
They obviously don't do any programming on it. So they make sure it works.
Yeah.
And what he does is
That's awesome.
he'll reinitialise it at the end.
Right.
Is that one of the top of the range?
Yes, that's our flagship amplifier.
That's the flagship.
It's JBM.
The JBM 410.
410.
Can't see that.
So Ricky throws off
Just
2,000 metres on.
Yeah.
Actually,
Is that like yours?
no, it's not like mine.
No.
I had 2 of them. I tried.
Where is it?
Yeah. I'll get the next one.
You can sell
It
it.
says Joe on it.
It says Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, at that sort of level, if it had plugged a guitar in with that history,
Yeah.
we'd have all our ears hurting.
That is a nice box. It's a nice. You can tell.
I mean, it's a very nice amplifier. I mean, it is, and it also does exactly what it says on the tin, as they say. I mean, you've got 4. I mean, when people first look at that, they think, no. But when you look at it, you've got 4 amplifiers. That's why you've got to look at it.
It's not complex at all.
No. You have 4 amplifiers. All you've got is bass, middle, treble, gain, and volume 4 times.
Sound quality.
But yeah, it's each channel has more and more gain as you work up through the 4 channels.
Just off emitting a few notes like that, and then it's just crystal clear.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right then, we'll leave you to it. I was going to explain that. That TSL at JVM was just all being tested.
Yeah.
Has he failed?
He failed?
Yes.
That one we just saw?
Yeah, failed.
Okay.
I don't know what it failed for.
What he did?
But
The one that I saw the lights.
No, that's perfectly okay. That's no problem. The one you just tested, the one you said you liked.
Oh right.
It just failed. I don't know what for. Wow. But things do fail. So what happens? It'll still come up the conveyor,
Right.
as it is there, but it'll come in here.
Right. Right.
It's the test department. It's a.
I was going to see if that's going in the bin.
There's a fair few in there at the minute.
Right.
Sell them ones cheap then.
No, they don't.
If it's going in the bin, you know, I can always do that for you.
What? Can you just let the gentleman through?
I'm sorry.
There's that one that's coming in now.
Yeah, there's one. That's the one.
There it is. Yeah.
So does that get destroyed now?
No, of course not. It won't get destroyed. It'll get repaired.
Oh, what a pity. Yeah, we could destroy it for you.
I'll say the same thing to your good self. I say to everybody: if you can get it in your pocket, you can take it. That's a one-time offer.
Nice.
You never get it again.
Yeah, just get him on camera so we can. We know who said it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, I never said it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could fail for a number of reasons.
It could be anything.
But that's why we have it. That's why we have the test. That's why we have quality. And nothing, as far as we can do, will let anything out of the factory that isn't exactly right. I mean, it could be cosmetic. It could be electronic.
Could be anything.
It could be literally anything. But they will fail, and there will be.
Well, you've got a fair old mix there, so
Well, what tends to happen is that the guy we saw testing, if it's cosmetic, he'll come up this afternoon if he's working and sort the cosmetic ones out. Electronic,
Right.
one of the test engineers you saw in the little room, he'll come up this afternoon and go through all the electronics.
Right.
Because everything's controlled by a computer manufacturer-wise,
Yeah.
the computer knows they're here, and if it's for an order, it will be flagged up and told they need to get it sorted.
So because all this is made to order, if you like, that'll be repaired
And go out
as
necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
As you can see behind you, I mean, nothing is actually. It all looks there. I mean, you can tell by some they're going to Japan.
right.
Hence the J. U is United States. C is I think Canada.
Right.
No, E is Europe. So we're part of Europe. So it's England. But
So those YJMEs over there are for Europe.
yeah, for somewhere in Europe, they could be this country or they could literally be anywhere in Europe.
Okay. So you European boys have got some coming at last. So no American ones here, is it?
Yeah, it's the American one on
There's some American
on
ones?
the top. On the top layer are American.
Put this on here.
To kind of help you float away and perk you
There they
up.
are. Now you can see you've seen one.
It's
It's not a figment.
No, they are coming.
Thanks. So stick with us.
Follow me.
So they've just come out, have they? Brand new.
Well, yeah, these are all
These are just out,
these new. They've been boxed up. What happens is we all do all our own distributing as well. So we book the 40-foot containers or 20-foot containers, load it and distribute it.
Right.
So these.
I assume these go over by sea.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to. You couldn't.
I know.
price
I know
would be-
exactly.
The price would be ridiculous. I mean, this weighs what? 22 kilos.
Yeah.
22 kilos. So yeah, I mean, normally Europe is road.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world is sea.
It's sea.
We don't.
So that's one of the reasons for delays to get the stuff to the
That's right. I mean,
States.
in the case of Australia, it's 12 weeks. They have to order
Right.
12 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Are people waiting on those to review them then? As
No, they're waiting on those to buy them.
No, to buy. I mean,
The reviews have
literally,
gone.
They've all been reviewed.
The reviews are gone.
These in the next week. I say next week because it's Friday today. These will be going off to somewhere in Europe. They will then distribute them all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's everything
If
in
you
here
look,
then
if you
is
look around the
sold.
factory, look around the warehouses, piles of them dotted everywhere because
There
the
is.
orders
Right.
being slowly fulfilled.
Right.
If you go up the
So
stairs,
these will be a particular order.
yeah, to
These will
somewhere
be
in Europe, yes.
Right. Okay.
If you go up the stairs, you see what I mean.
Yeah.
It's in rows, so
Yeah.
these rows will slowly grow
Yeah. Right.
until the order's been completed, and then the 40-foot container or 20-foot, depending where it's going,
Yeah.
will be ordered and go off to wherever the country is.
Right.
So they've got C5 combos all going to America.
Yeah. There's the U.
And it's the U. Yeah.